Two nations are in thy womb. Giving all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Rakakwadash. And this is a list I have that I put together some time ago, which I attempted to several times bring this list out on the streets, but I may get one part of one precept in, and the Spirit will take it somewhere else. That's how the Spirit rolls. But anyway, this is a pretty long list. By looking at it real quick, it's got to be like 20 plus scriptures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a handful of scriptures. If the Spirit's on me, I'll read all of them, but I doubt if I can get through all of them. But I'm just going to read some of these scriptures and see where the Spirit takes me. And before I go into this, if you're an Edomite, I don't know what to tell you. Because when your system goes down and our system comes up, you're gonna be it, and you're gonna get it. You're not gonna have one good day in the kingdom. Well, you have the Sabbath and the high holy days, and what you're gonna truly honor the Sabbath and the high holy days. But other than the Sabbath, the various Sabbaths and the new moons, and by the way, the new moon is a Sabbath, and the new moon comes in when you see that little crescent, that little slither of light. That's a new moon. A full moon is two weeks in to a new moon. And our days, our high holy days, Sabbaths, are all based upon the new moon. Look, you had the new moon is so important that you have a high holy day known as the memorial of blowing the trumpets, and it represents the new moons. Anyway, which by the way, the new moon, the Sabbaths are based upon the new moon. Anyway, so let's go right into it. First precept is Numbers 20 verse 14. Numbers 20 verse 14. And to give you the scenario, this is I'll start from the first verse and I'll jump down to the 14th verse. It says, then came the children, or actually the word there is sons of Israel. The word is Bunyam, Yasha'Allah, sons of Israel. Even the whole congregation. Congregation means with the flock of my pastor, men. So it starts with the men. A nation is based upon the man, not the woman. A woman is nothing more than an incubator. So you can be an Israelite and impregnate a Moabite, and that child will come out an Israelite looking somewhat like a Moabite. So it says, then came the sons of Israel, even the whole congregation, unto the desert of Zin, which was the wilderness of Zin, in the first month, and the people abode in Kadesh and Miriam, and Miriam died there and was buried there. So this is coming out of the wilderness, 40 years, and the Most High setting us up to receive the land. And they encountered the Edomites, which this goes back to the hatred. Esau hated us. Esau showed his hatred. Even though Esau, the Edomites, knew that we were the Israelites, we go back to the same line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So it says, and Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel, thou knowest all the travail that have befallen us, how our fathers went down into Egypt. Now, this is Moses speaking to the king, sending a message to the king of Edom. Now, if you notice, the message is concerning them coming out of the land of Egypt, or Mizraim, in which the Edomites didn't experience that. The Edomites didn't go into captivity under the Egyptians, because they would have said that. Now, the reason why the Edomites were not, taken over by the so-called Egyptians is because that was a fulfillment of prophecy. You got these Israelite groups that err not knowing the scriptures or not spiritual. They'll go to Genesis, the 15th chapter, the vision of Abraham, of his people going into a land that is not theirs. That was talking about ancient Egypt, and it's also spoken of by Stephen in Acts, the 7th chapter. Has nothing to do with America. So any Israelite group that teaches that, they're not on any level. Because at one time, 1919, they said, okay, we're out of here. In 1919, and even some of these One West groups was teaching that nonsense. Because we came over here in, 1619. So 400 years from 1619 is 2019. Anyway, it says, how our fathers went down into Egypt. The word there is Mizraim. If somebody questions you or Christian, you say, what was the original name of Egypt? They'll say Egypt because they don't know. It was Mizraim, Martazayim, one of the sons of Ham, which were dark people. And we have dwelt in Egypt or Mizraim a long time. It was 430 years. First 30 years there was peace. The next 400 years they were enslaved, and the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers. The bigger picture is they put us in slavery. And when we cried unto Yahweh, the word there is Yahweh, because the Most High wants his name to be spoken. Yeah, when you click on the word, and when we cried unto the Lord, the word there is Yahweh. Not a higher. So 16 verse again, and when we cried unto Yahweh, he heard our voice and sent an angel and have brought us forth out of Egypt, and behold, we are in Kadesh. And that angel first and foremost represents Yahweh Shai, because it tells you of which of the angels. And you know what, I got to open up, I got to go into this as well. Bear with me for a minute. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's Hebrews 1. Let's see. Okay, Hebrews 1 verse 4, being made so much better than the angels, as he hath by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. So among the angels, the number one angel is Yahweh Shai, that came down in the form of a man. It says 5th verse, Hebrews 1 verse 5, for unto which of the angels said he, unto which of the angels, so he was, the Lord is one of the angels under Yahweh, for unto which of the angels said he at any time, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. That was said prophetically concerning it was Nathan that spoke those words to Solomon's father, King David. So King Solomon, the Lord came down in the angelic form, but he also comes down in a human form, and he's also born of a man and a woman. He was born of a man and a woman when he came as Solomon. When he was Melchizedek, he just came on the scene. Didn't have a father and a mother. And how do we know that? Because Paul said it. Was Paul going off? No, he wasn't going off, because the Lord came to Paul, and Melchizedek came to Paul and told him that he was Melchizedek. And then at that time, he didn't have a father and a mother. When he came as Yahweh Shai, he came from the union of a man and a woman, Joseph and Mary. It said, for unto which of the angels, so he's one of the angels, said he at any time, thou art my son. Now, did not the Most High refer to the angels as his sons? Even the demons, the devil? Is not Satan the son of the Most High? And for you clown-ass Christians, there was no war in heaven where Satan said he's going to rebel against the Most High. That's a fable and an old wives' tale. This is why so many thinking jakes are leaving that Christianity bullshit. And vocab, this is a message to you. Do me a favor and stay with Sarnetta and the rest of them individuals. Stay in that confusion. Don't come around us no more. You've been fucking with us for 5 years. since 2016. Just move on and deal with them. Because I put that nonsense on with you going up against Jabari and being on Soneta's show. Man, I turned that, 30 seconds, I turned that shit off. I said, what the fuck is this bullshit? So you go ahead and stay in that confusion. And that, because that's where you belong, in the realm of confusion. It says, for unto which of the angels said he at any time, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee, and again I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son. And we are also known as sons of the Most High. Let's read some more. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he saith, and let all the angels of the Most High worship him. So the angels worship Yahweh Shai, just as we are to worship Yahweh Shai. So now when you listen to Sakari, they're going to tell you, no, we're not to worship Yahweh Shai. Now you better change your damn ways. Because if you keep teaching this nonsense that you're teaching, you ain't going to get picked up. It says, and of the angels he saith, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. Verse Hebrews 1 verse 13 said, he at any time sit on my right hand. There it goes again. Under which of the angels? The chief angel, the angel number 1, which is Yahweh Shai. 13 verse again, but to which of the angels said he at any time, sit on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. Are they not all ministering spirits, including our Lord? Does not he minister unto the Lord, the Father, Yahweh, sent forth to minister for them, who shall be heirs of salvation? So who are the heirs of salvation? The Israelites. The angels that were put in bodies. So now we're back in Numbers 20 verse 16. And see, the topic was supposed to be on Esau, right? But it's going, this could be several different topics based on the words that I said and some of the precepts that I went through. So it says in the 16th verse, Numbers 20 verse 16, and when we cried unto Yahweh, because we knew Yahweh's name, because at the end of the ordeal, the Most High raised up Moses, and one of the first things that Moses asked of the Lord is, what is your name, so I might tell the children of Israel? And he said, I am that I am. And I am that I am meaning present. So the word in the Hebrew is Yahweh, he to be, or he is. That's the name of the Most High. Anyway, it says, and when he cried unto Yahweh, he heard our voice. He heard our voice, because we didn't call on Jesus. We didn't call on no goddamn Jesus, man. He heard our voice and sent an angel and have brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the utmost of thy border. And the Lord was also the grim reaper. So he's telling the story. He's telling the story of them being in ancient Egypt, so-called Egypt, and he wanted to go through the king's highway, and he wanted some water, and he said he would compensate him for that. So let me read the 17th verse. Let us pass, I pray thee, through the country. We will not pass through the fields or through the valley of vineyards, neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn to the right hand nor to the left until we have passed thy borders. And Edom said unto him, see, you talking about we can't hate Esau. Fucking Esau fucking hates us. Thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword. When you come out against somebody with the sword, that means we're going to come and kill. We're going to kill you. You ain't passing through there. This is how Esau felt about us. And that's why Esau got to pay. And boy, is he going to pay. 19 verse, Numbers 20, verse 20, verse 19. And the children of Israel said unto him, we will go by the highway, and if I and my cattle drink of thy water, then I will pay for it, meaning compensate you. I will only, without doing anything else, go through on my feet. So that Esau's our brothers out the goddamn window. Lineally, genetically, we are brothers because we had the same father. But like I said, in the beginning of the video, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 nations shall be separated from thy bowels, and the elder shall serve the younger. And Esau did serve the younger during the time of King David and King Solomon, but Esau is going to serve us again in the coming kingdom. So vocab Malone, you're wrong again. The Edomites are not done away with. And he said, thou shalt not go through. This is what the king of Edom said concerning the messenger to give to Moses. And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand. Does Edom refuse to give Israel passage through his border? Wherefore Israel turned away from him. In other words, it was a shortcut. They didn't want to take that shortcut. It says, and the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, journeyed from Kadesh and came unto Mount Hur. So this just shows you the hatred that Esau had for us. Now we're going to 1 Kings 11, verse 14. So let's see what that says. It says, and Yahweh stirred up an adversary. Notice Yahweh stirred up an adversary unto Solomon. So who's the great promoter on high, the Most High. He makes things happen. You heard within the last, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of so-called UFO sightings. And the last one was a handful of UFOs circled a U.S. Navy vessel. And why did they do that? To pick a fight. Most High is picking a fight with Esau. The Most High is using the angels to taunt Esau. So we know that the Lord is getting ready to visit Esau, or Esau's world. This is it for you devils, man. You ain't coming back. It says, and Yahweh stirred up an adversary unto Solomon. Remember, Solomon was Yahweh Shai. This is how we know that the Heavenly Father and our Lord are two different entities, two different persons, if you will. Further showing you that these Christians do not understand the scriptures. It says, Hadad, the Edomite, he was of the king's seed in Edom. For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and David had a perfect hatred for Esau and Joab and Israelites in general. They had a perfect hatred for Esau at that time. For it came to pass when David was in Edom, because they had control over Edom, so they were up in their land. And ultimately, pursuant to Amos the 9th chapter, 11 and 12 verse, they're going to take their land again. Because right now we don't have any land, we don't have any power. So when the kingdom is established, we're taking their lands. And Joab, the captain of the host, was gone up to bury the slain after he had smitten every male in Edom. Why did it say every male in Edom and not every male, female, and child? Because what they did was they took the woman and they made them their concubines and had children with them. Why do you think you have Israelites that look like Edomites? Because they laid with Esau, the Edomites, Esau's woman. So they didn't slay everybody, they just slew the males. They kept the children, the little girls, they raised them up so they can deal with them sexually. And the boys, they put them in slavery. And the older women, they busted their heads, cracked their heads open too. So they had the young Edomite women, the young Edomite little girls that were to grow up to be women that the Israelite men will have relations with. It says 16 verse. For 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel until he had cut off every male. There it goes again. Until he had cut off every male in Edom. Now at that time, you had Edomites that were scattered, and you had the king's son Hadad that had escaped with other Edomite men. And as you read the story down, when you read down further down, you see that the king of Egypt at that time, he had a thing for Edomites. So he had his wife's sister deal with this Edomite Hadad, and they had a son together. So you have actual black Hamitic, Kemetic Egyptian people that are actually Edomites. I should call this video the story of Esau, because Esau never make this story. They'll never make this story because they know who they are. They know who the hell they are. So let's see what this says. This is 2 Kings 8 verse 21. Let's see what this says. Now, I put this list together some years ago, so I don't even know what these scriptures are necessarily going to say before I read them. 2 Kings 8 verse 21. So Joram went over to Zaire and all the chariots with him, and he rose by night and smote the Edomites which compassed him about, and the captains of the chariots, and the people fled into their tents. Yet Edom revolted from under the hand of Jehoiada, the tribe of Judah, unto this day. Now, the reason why they were getting killed, because they were attempting to escape their captivity. They were attempting to emancipate themselves. So you had Joram, he was killing them, but a lot of them escaped, because that was a fulfillment of Genesis, the 27th chapter, because it was prophesied that they were going to escape and get the upper hand. So now they're in the power seat, but pursuant to prophecy, they're going to lose their seat. They're going to get kicked off their throne, and the new rulers are going to sit on the throne. And we're going to remember everything that you did in the past. Look, there was a documentary on Tulsa, Oklahoma, what you Edomites did. So now it's our turn. The lynchings are coming back. The beatings are coming back. The burnings are coming back. You working out in the field. We're going to take your woman. Meaning your woman, we're going to take your... If you have a beautiful wife, you're going to get put to death, and we're going to take your wife. It said, yet Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day. Right, unto this very day. Esau's still in the power seat, but he's getting ready to get kicked off of the goddamn throne. Then Libnah revolted at the same time. And the rest of the acts of Joram and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Jehoiada? So let's see if we can get one more in. Like I said, this is going to be a multiple part, a series, you can say, of videos. Let's see what First Chronicles 18, I believe that's Chronicles 18 verse 12. It says, moreover, Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, slew of the Edomites in the valley of Salt, 18,000. And he put garrisons in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's servants. Thus Yahweh preserved David whithersoever he went. Now wait a minute. There's scriptures where it says if a stranger believes in the Most High and calls on the name of the Most High, you're supposed to bless them, right? Well, shouldn't Edom been smart enough to say, well, we believe in your God? No, because that wasn't talking about other nations. That was talking about Israel. The strangers were talking about Israelites that were scattered abroad. So let me read the 13th verse again. And he put garrisons in Edom, so he took the land. Going back to Amos 9, 11, and 12, we're going to take that land again. And he put garrisons in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's servants. Thus saith the Lord, thus Yahweh preserved David whithersoever he went. So this guy was, so David was putting out orders to slaughter Edomites. And Abishai was one of the, let's look up Abishai. He was one of the servants. He was under David, but he was an Israelite. It says, grandson of Jesse, nephew of David via his sister, a brother of Joab. Now Joab was related to David, and Abishai was related to David. So he did this under the orders of David. Let's read it again. First Chronicles 18 verse 12. Moreover, Abishai the son of Zeruiah slew of the Edomites in the valley of Salt. He killed 18,000 Edomites. Most likely they were men. Remember, they were killing the men. They were sparing the women and the children. And he put garrisons in Edom. And all the Edomites became David's servants, slaves. So they worked for him. So now let's look up the word garrison, and we'll close on this. And this is what happens when you go into the hood. You have police out there, and they'll have, I don't know how it is out in the other states, but in New York, certain areas that you go in the hood, they'll have these towers that might be like 18 foot tall, and it'll say police on it, and they're surveilling the neighborhood. Well, that's a garrison. These precincts that are set up are nothing but, you got the various precincts are nothing but a garrison, man. They write tickets on your car. You know, they see you throwing something to give you a ticket. You so-called jaywalking, give you a ticket. They stop and frisk you. That stop and frisk thing is evidence that this is a garrison, man. Because in the kingdom, we're going to be stopping and frisking you too. And you better not get sassy with us either. And said, I can't wait till we get you devils in slavery, man. And see, this is why clowns fall off and leave the truth, because they don't read stuff like this to build them up. And all you clowns that turn your back on the plow, the Most High is going to give you the same punishment as you're going to die the death of an Edomite. You damn fool. It says garrison, set over something, place, pillar, perfect, meaning they prefect or prefecture, sorry, garrison, post, pillar, prefect, deputy. Let's look up the word prefect in the Common Dictionary. So this is the last scripture we're going to read. So we only went through 4 precepts on this list, and the Spirit led us to some other precepts. So we're going to look up the word prefect. Definition for prefect. In Japan, you have prefectures. Prefect in some schools, a senior student authority to enforce discipline, to keep you in order. A chief officer, magistrate, or regional government, a governor in certain countries. What does prefect mean? Any of the various high officials or magistrates. When you jaywalk or you speed or you do this, you get a ticket, and you got to go before a magistrate, which they call a judge. He ain't no judge. He's a magistrate of differing functions and ranks in ancient Rome. Well, this is Rome all over again. And what the Roman soldiers would do, they would also give you tickets. They would charge you with a crime, and you have to go before a magistrate. And if he said you're guilty of the crime, then you either got locked up, you either got whipped, or you had to pay a certain fine. A chief officer or chief magistrate, a student monitor in a usual private school. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.